Hello, fellow AeroScout mechanics. So I've decided that I've got a three-step repair process I'm going to have to do. So the initial obvious problem here is the whole front wheel assembly. Seeing how it's busted on the bottom and it's flopping free on top. I'm toying with the idea of using some flashing material that you use for your house. I had some kicking around, and I tried cutting a piece out that maybe I'll use to reinforce the plywood, where this plywood chunk came out that it was attached to. But in examining this, I'm thinking the strategy will be first, because this whole front nose assembly basically is separated. I'm thinking my first goal might be to secure the body, get this wheel firmly in place down here, and then based on that, putting in whatever reinforcement I do wind up doing up here secondarily and attaching the screws. I think I need to accomplish that just so I think I need to accomplish attaching the lower part first and securing the body so that I know for sure where these are going to line up. I kind of have a rough idea from what's left of the plywood. I still have the original plywood piece to help me figure out the hole spacing for what I do put on there. But I think it would benefit me by securing the bottom part first and then anchoring the top. So at least that's the strategy at this point. We'll see how it goes. Repair progress update. So I've decided to take the approach of getting the body secured back together again. Doing some reading online, this seems to be a popular glue to use, this Gorilla Glue. Some people swear about it. Some people swear against it. I thought I'd give it a go. It seems to foam up. It's you put the glue on one surface, you put water on the other surface, hold it together for a while, and it looks like it expands and kind of foams up and holds it together. It appears to be working pretty well. Since how there was a bit of a split in the body here and down underneath, I started with here, pinching it together, getting the plywood lined up. Next step was to go to the bottom, pinch this part together here, glued it in, followed by putting back my original wheel support, and you can see the foam sticking up there as it foamed up and out. I'll have to do a little sanding or something, or I might just live with it. This is doing much better on the bottom here. This wheel is feeling pretty good on the bottom. I might do a little more securing there. But my next major step is going to be this top part. I glued some of the plywood back to the inside again with that same kind of glue. This plywood piece is kind of loose still. It isn't secured. But my intention is to put this piece of flashing I cut to put in there over it and gluing it down. So using that as kind of a gap filler. And this is really what's going to secure everything. I drilled the holes to match the little screws that hold the top of the front nose wheel control mechanism. So I believe it was like a 3/32 inch screw. I've trimmed this down to drop inside there, and we'll see how that works out. Well, we have it back together. A little messy. Not going to worry about fussing it up too much. So I did wind up going through the process of first I brought back together the separated body parts. I picked up some of this Gorilla Glue. You put a thin layer of it on one piece and you moisten the opposite piece and you pinch it together and let it set for a couple hours, and it appears to foam up and fill in the gap, and it feels pretty good. People online, some of them said not to use it, other people said they love it, so I gave it a go. Next I anchored in the broken plywood. I took some pictures, I'll put them in here. Anchored the plywood to the frame of the body. I also reinserted my previous repair piece. I put together this piece down here. After all the body was secured, I put in a piece of this sheathing, house sheathing material from the hardware store. I put some of that glue between the sheathing and the plywood. I roughed up the sheathing first and managed to get my screw holes lined up, and we're all back together. Go out and give it a try. Well, we've got a few short takeoffs, landings, was flying pretty good tonight. But that nose wheel is definitely the Achilles heel of this plane. Any sort of rough hit on it and it just folds back up into the body. I need to come up with a better way to hold that.